All right, everybody. It must be Friday because it's another episode of the Q&A with Alan and Marshall show. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
I'm Alan Howe.
And we're here.
We're happy to be here.
We're happy to be here. And it's been a crazy week. Crazy week. I can't wait to get started in talking about that. But we want to welcome you to our show. And we've got a lot of really interesting things to talk about today. And we're really glad that you're here. But one thing we love for you to do is what, Alan?
Share this. Tell other people. Please. I'm begging you. So, yeah, we love that you're here, but we want more. We want everybody else to share in the love.
Share the love.
Share the
love Friday here at the Q&A show.
Yeah. And you know what? It's been a rough week and busy week for all of us, but I thank goodness we have guys like Ron Goodwin. It's still a good day.
That's right.
You know what? We're still blessed people and we're still a good day, man.
Yeah. So please share that you're watching. And then also where you're watching from, we always like to know that. But the title is Q&A. And so what we really need are your questions. Yep. Your comments, your engagement. That's what makes this show special, is the fact that you are involved. So please, please, please drop a comment, drop a question. What are your challenges? What are you struggling with?
Yep.
What's bugging you? We want to know all that because that's how the show works. And either Alan or I can help you, or maybe sometimes a listener has a comment or a suggestion.
Or we can point you in a direction of someone that can help you.
Yeah, and so that's what really helps us out for the show, and so we would appreciate that. So, all right, so let's say hi to some folks. Cindy's watching from Texas. Good to see you, Cindy. Ghost is watching from Uppsala, Sweden. I can't pronounce that today.
The garden spot of Europe.
Probably not pronouncing it right anyway, right? And Frank's watching from Charlotte. I love Charlotte.
I like Charlotte.
This is SNS Activewear VIP week there, right? I think that's what it is. I think that's what's going on.
So when's SNS Activewear VIP in Cincinnati, Frank?
I don't think anybody wants to go to Cincinnati.
I would. I'd go to Cincinnati.
I've been to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's awesome. So
I lived in Cincinnati before, and worked there for a lot. I go down there all the time. It's great.
Yeah. Well, they just did one in Phoenix, and there's this one's in Charlotte. So
did you go, Marshall?
I did. I went to the party. It was extremely nice.
Good. Yeah.
A lot of really great people. Had some good conversations. Had just an awesome kind of like roundtable discussion with Josh Ellsworth and James and Christina with SNS,
Yep.
and Frank was there, and it was really a lot of fun, right? Met some really good printers, met some shop guys, people from California and all over. So I thought it was a good event.
Well, I've been bringing it up to every shop I'm with, going at, what do you think about SNS going to Cincinnati? And some are going, wow, we didn't know that. And so they're looking into it. So
yeah, right.
Hopefully, Frank, when you have an event like that, hopefully I would grace your presence. And I don't expect to be on the A list, but a BC list would be cool. Yeah,
you're on the A list because your name begins with an A.
If it's alphabetically.
Yeah, right. I'm on the M list. I
could just go and drop a name, just name drop. I'm here to see the Frank Good. He's expecting me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, Frank says anytime, by the way.
Thank you, sir. It's not who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. We know Frank.
It's always who you know.
And we know Frank. We know Frank and Ghost up. We're good. Life is good. We got those two in my corner. So
hey, so let's pay some bills and thank GSG for being our sponsor, and then we can get into the meat of the show today. Here we go.
GSG, the combination of over half a century of knowledge with industry-leading technology and the customer at the center of everything that we do. Graphic Solutions Group is a powerhouse distributor of traditional screen, sign, wide format digital printing, embroidery, and textile decorating. We are committed to our customers, providing support, educational, and consulting services. Your success is our success. We've seen these industries grow and change in our 70 years. One thing never changes: GSG's dedication providing the best products and services available. We've been around, we'll be around, from the highs and the lows, standing right here with you. GSG, the right products, right away.
Awesome.
Yep.
Hey, Charles is here. How you doing, buddy?
Charles Warros from New Mexico.
Yep. And then Cindy says, I love GSG.
I
All
want
caps with 700 exclamation points.
That's a bunch of love. And you know what? We love GSG. They do so many things correctly, Marshall. It is just an amazing organization. And, when I think about it, of everything they do, Mr. Granberry, how he captains that ship and turns it, I'm glad I don't have that job.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's complex.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. All right, cool. So you ready to get into some topics?
Let's go. Yeah, I was just saying, Charles is there. It's like, I want to go to New Mexico. I've never been there. It's one of the states that I've never been to. And I gotta spend some money on some flights just to get status before the end of the year. So I might have to come see you and just hang out on a weekend, Charles. So Roswell.
Yeah, right. Hey, Sarah's here. Good to see you, Sarah.
Yeah.
And Frank says they brought it at Impressions Fort Worth. They put in a great VIP event. I was so bummed that that thing was Saturday night. I left Saturday at lunch to go home. So I missed that event. I would have loved to have been there. So
cool.
Charles says, come on down, pal.
I may.
Yeah. All right. First up, news. So Tom and I have invited Allie Banholzer to be part of our owners group for Shirt Lab. I don't know if you saw the thing we did on social media, and I sent all the press releases out. We did a private little video thing in Shirt Lab Tribe the other day, but we're so excited about having Allie join our group. And I just think it's going to help us move things forward in new and exciting ways. We invented Shirt Lab in 2018, right? So that's been about 5 years or so, almost, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Allie's going to bring a lot of a fresh perspective to things. She's been to every single event. She's knows things from a customer point of view. Also, she's spoken at a couple of our things, and I just think the world of her. And when we talked about kind of expanding our ownership group, she was the only list. She was the only name on the list. So we want to welcome her, and we're so excited about having her and her input and what she does. And Allie, she's been on the show. And
I've co-hosted with her when you were gone. She filled in for you and did a remarkable job. We need to have her on again because of this. Because you know what, Allie is just she has Marshall. We were talking about it earlier. I met Allie in 2017. You introduced me to her at Max Profit. You and I were speaking there with Mark Coudray and Tom Rowan, and
right.
Allie happened to be there early, and she texted you, and we were all just having drinks, the four of us, and she came over. And she was just restarting her company after a long time, and in 5 years, she has become just an industry badass. And it is like she is just incredible. She's a black belt, Lean Six Sigma now. She is, I don't know what it is, master of First Profit.
She does Profit First. Mike Michalowicz has actually used her in a book, or she's one of the. I think she's in one of his books. I
remember I asked her to be on the show one time. She goes, "I can't that week. I have already scheduled Mike McCallum. I go, we're bigger than him. Come on.
Yeah. Right.
But you know what? Not to say of everything she's done, she is just an incredible business owner.
Yeah.
And the way she grows her shop, she does it with purpose, and she is an example to us all. And
well, you know,
she needed to be the only name on your guys' list. There
she
look no other.
Yep, you know, she's a Gold Star widow. You know, I don't know if you know this, but her husband Dave was the former pilot of Air Force One, commander of Air Force One, and so she's a military spouse, and you know, does a lot of stuff with the veterans, and you know, that's a big part of her life, and that's great. She's got 2 amazing daughters.
Yep,
and she's a great mom, and you know, just there's a lot of things that I really admire about her, and I think it's going to be a great addition to Shirt Lab because let's face it, when guys do things, we do it one way, but you know, a woman always makes it better. You know, everything I do, my wife always makes it better, and I think having that viewpoint, and not just because she's a woman, but it's going to really help us like evolve and make Shirt Lab a really great place. So,
and she was a winner of the first winner of Women's Screen Print Award.
Yeah, she's won the Women in Screen Printing Award. She's going to be in Printing United next week.
Is she? I was just going to ask.
Yep, she's going to be there because Meg Urban, who's in Shirt Lab, also is up this year, so she's going to be getting that. And I think Marge is coming too. So Allie and Marge will be there to cheer on Megan, and
you know, all 3 of them great friends, and all 3 of them polar opposites.
Yeah, they can't be any different.
They're so funny. And the fact that Meg got it so awesome. You know, the big joke is she just talks too much. She never says a word. I've been around all the time. I bet I've heard her say 5 sentences. She just put in, but another, you know, how about this? Quietly badass.
Yeah, I think they have a nickname for her. They call her like the quiet assassin, or
exactly.
I don't know what it is, but she's just kind of just silently over there doing her stuff and killing it. So.
I'm a badass, man, and all of them. Marge too. Story and a half background, but so great. And every time I'm around Marge, you know, I think it was a couple years ago in Fort Worth in Shirt Lab, and you know, Marge, I know some of her background. We've talked and stuff. She's on one side of me, Mark Goudre's on the other, and they start talking physics. Marge has a degree in physics. Okay.
Yeah, right.
I am now the stupidest person in the room. But just you never know people. You know, just some incredible people. So if you see Allie, Marge, or Megan, congratulate them on their awards, especially Megan, and introduce yourself. You'd be better.
And we're putting together our lineup for next year right now. And anything you'd like to see or whatever for Shirt Lab, send it to me. We'd love to include that in our thinking. So it's really going to be a fantastic year. So anyway, so that's really great. And we just want to recognize Allie. And thanks for that.
Absolutely.
By the way,
good job, you guys. So
Cindy says, congratulations, Allie. That's fantastic. Daryl says, get it. Essay. And Shane says, good morning from Grand Junction, Colorado. Thanks for joining us today, Shane. Appreciate you.
Think about essay, didn't you? You weren't sure on that, what that was saying.
Yeah. You know, my Spanish isn't as good as it should be, right? So, hey, let's bring it to the next topic, right? Do you remember what it was?
No. Collaboration.
That's it. Collaboration.
I had to think.
Yeah. I know thinking's hard today. It's Friday. We can't think. It's Friday.
Yep.
We've done all our thinking the other 4 days of the week. Today, it's, you know, we're not thinking.
Before we transition away from Allie Ghosted just posted, and I love this post because he's talking about the checklist.
Right. So Allie got me do the disaster work checklist. Allie's great. Yes.
So, you know, if you don't know what that is, Allie was talking about Dave, her husband, you know, and, you know, planes go down and they have trouble. They have a checklist that they go through every time of SOP. And she's going, you have your checklist, don't you? And she's talking to you, and that goes in life and in business. do you have your checklist? And that like just resonated. The way she's done that is like, and you guys have your checklist, don't you?
Right.
Well, of course you do. No. And yeah, that has been my favorite Allie Van Holzer deal is the disaster checklist, and you got to have it.
Yep. So good thinking. And so anyway, we're going to talk about collaboration. And so the idea here, okay, is for you guys right now as viewers, right? I want you to think about, you're doing whatever you guys do, right? How are you collaborating with somebody new to innovate and build new products, new ideas, new customer opportunities, that type of stuff? What are you doing on purpose to collaborate? And of course, this show is a perfect example of collaboration, right?
Really?
It's just me and Alan doing something funky, and it didn't exist a couple of years ago.
Nope.
Until I had an epiphany one day, right? And here we are, right? What is this? What number episode?
What episode are we at? I don't know.
It's let me check YouTube. I can't remember. This is show come on, load. This is show 130.
Who knew?
We've done 130 of these, Alan. So, but anyway, so the idea here is that you can think about it. Right now, there's a customer or a supplier or a manufacturer or somebody out there that you're not currently working with, but if you collaborate with them, you can design and build something new, right? And you're bringing something new to the world, and you're not talking about just the ordinary same old sales you have all the time. And here's the thing to think about is you see this all the time, especially with fashion, where they have a brand will hook up with a designer or a celebrity or a music artist or whatever, and they're collaborating. You see this all the time where it's this plus this equals a new thing, and that drives millions of dollars worth of sales, right? People do that all the time, right? So one of my favorite things to watch right now is Death Wish water, right? And liquid death water, excuse me. And they collaborated with Martha Stewart recently for a candle. And the candle is a severed arm holding a can of their water, and the candle, of course, is the comes out of the can, right? But this is it's just so ridiculous, right?
Yep.
And so just think about how you can collaborate with somebody to invent something new and develop new sales. And so I would love to hear y'all's comments. Have you collaborated with somebody? Or what would you be scared about doing if you were to collaborate with somebody? Alan, have you ever, besides me, collaborated with anybody and invented something?
Well, I'm not an inventor. I know companies I've worked for have collaborated with company. EasyWay has still a very good relationship with M&R. And when they first came out with their auto reclaims, there was a big collaboration there. I wasn't with EasyWay at the time, and that collaboration, man, that was badass, and it's still stronghold today. So there are collaborations going on. It's funny, when you collaborate with someone, it doesn't always have to be of someone that you might be the most odd pairing you ever think of. And you mentioned Martha Stewart. Who has she collaborated with, or other people you see? I'm going, how the heck does that happen?
Snoop Dogg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's like polar opposite. So Absolutely. Think about, what you could, it doesn't have to even make sense, but because it's so weird, people look at it, right? Yeah. So it's all about being different.
And, I think collaborations are, even the things we do with, with Shirt Lab. When you guys first came out with that, I was honored you asked me to do a couple events and not speak on the live ones, but I've done videos, technically and podcasts. In fact, you and I just talked this week what can I do more of on there? What do you need to see? And we've written it down, and I'm going to put that in there and try to have it done here real quick.
Yeah, good.
And get it. And, those are collaborations. You know what? And collaborations are beneficial to both people.
Yeah. So it's just about how you're elevating and what you're doing and, whatever, right? So I think what you first have to do is you just have to ask questions. You have to be, are you open to something, right? And just say, hey, I was thinking maybe we can partner on something. What do you do? What are you looking for? And, just like, do that over tacos at lunch or something. Right?
And I think when it's a collaboration too, there has to be, you got to put aside all egos. And, you remember that you have different people. And Marshall, you and I get along great on all things. But we were in a conversation just before this where you and I are polar opposites. But we also go, okay, wait, time to talk T-shirts. And we're done. We don't hit each other.
Well, there has to be respect, right?
And with everybody. Yeah. And so on a collaboration, you have to remember egos go out. What's the greater good? What is the bigger picture? And do that. And if one part or one party is not respectful of that, then that collaboration is a problem. And that's the reason our collaborations here have worked well. Is we're respectful of everybody. I know what Marshall brings. I know what I bring. I can't do Marshall's job on there. Believe me, all the structure stuff, that's Marshall.
Yeah.
Technical, me.
If you've read Traction, I am the integrator in the pair here.
And you know what? We pull from each of our knowledge of people on help. Richard Reeves just popped on. We both knew him. He is our go-to guy on last minute. Richard has been called on last minute more times than we do. We could not do this show without Mr. Greaves.
Richard is my hero.
When I grow up, I want to be Richard Greaves.
And more things than one. All right. So we got some great
we're buttering up because we got to ask him of something. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we have some great comments. Richard's in a car right now driving, by the way. So Peter says, good morning from Portland, where I'm doing a quick pre-United road trip, Peter. I will see you in Vegas.
Looking forward to it. I has a new dryer coming out I just saw. So
do they?
New electric dryer, yeah.
Cool. I want to learn all about that.
Cool. Yeah.
Curly's here. Good morning.
Chris, how you
doing?
By the
way, I love that Nintendo print, Mr. Badass. Keep posting. Love that stuff.
Love it, Chris. And Chris and I talked this weekend, and we have some things going to be working with him on a little bit.
Yeah, and Sarah says 130. She's very happy. Josh says good morning. Hey, Josh. Sydney says, in my embroidery word, trying to really do more patches, learning from Eric Campbell, who is E-Rich is the best, by the way. Have you noticed that most of the teams are wearing a patch cap? I always look at what the pro football teams are doing. By the way, speaking of collaboration, and I see Josh is on here, for Shirt Lab Chicago, we collaborated with S&S Activewear on the swag for that live event. And I challenged Stalls to do Velcro patches, and we did a Velcro patch set that wasn't even part of their world. And then now they're bringing that to market. And Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but that'll be available at the beginning of the year, I think, for everybody. That was a collaboration that came out of our partnership with Shirt Lab. It was just me saying, hey, I was thinking about this. Wouldn't it be cool? Right. Since Hurley's on here, it was a what if a guy, right? He always talks about
what if a guy
did this, right? So that's where that comes from, is just saying, hey, can you do this? What do you think? And then I don't know, let's check it out. And that's where the magic happens, is just doing stuff like that and being open and not being closed-minded, like, no, we don't do that. Sorry. Right.
I still have my cap and the Velcro patches. I remember everybody going, when's this available?
Yeah, I think it's just a great thing. All right. Josh has great topic. Collaboration is a shared investment into the community, shows a customer first mentality.
Absolutely.
Trying to get better at collaborating and education with partners to reach new audiences in 2023.
Yep.
Right there with you. And I think we're going to be doing some stuff. So very excited about that. Richard says, hello from I-75 in Michigan, driving north.
All right. That will take you all the way to the Upper Peninsula. I know he's going up to a place called Wolverine, Michigan.
Woo!
It's way up there. It's on the Pigeon River.
That just sounds cold to me.
It is. Well, it's 45 degrees here in Michigan right now, so it's getting there. And the farther north you go, it is. Wolverine is a great area. It's not a lot up there. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, so what's the Patrick Swayze movie?
Roadhouse?
No, the one where they're all Wolverines. What was that?
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Yeah, the big Red Dawn fans in Wolverine, Michigan.
Well, considering Michigan is the Wolverine state, and there hasn't been a Wolverine since the 1800s, and they were actually there was one a few years ago they found, and it wasn't far from me, but they protected it and they did some tests on it. And it's still in the wild, and they found out from DNA it actually came from Canada, and they think it was on an ice floe or a garbage scow or something like that.
Yeah,
and dumped off, and then they just found it dead of natural causes just a few years ago. But yeah, there are no Wolverines in Michigan.
Yeah,
bears, mountain lions, wolves, no Wolverines.
Ghosta says, now we have an artist who previously tried to sell his works but failed miserably. Now we take over all print packaging and delivery so we can create full-time, go live next week. That's awesome.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
I love seeing that. Curly says, thanks, guys. You see what I did with the silicone ink last night? Well, you got to post it. Post it. Josh, Velcro Q1. Just reviewed new samples yesterday. Love it. Love it. Love it. Cindy, check out the patches I did last night. Screen with silicone, high density, heat press, or so on.
Awesome.
All right. So that's posted on your Facebook page, right? Yep. Good.
Cool.
Yeah. So collaboration, I think, is really key. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, of course, is because I think when we're thinking about 2023, right, we should be planning right now about what type of things we might be doing next year. Mm-hmm. And I know holiday is going to take up a huge chunk of your time, but if you take a little bit out every week and think about what could I be doing, to increase sales and work with new people and fill in that valley that's January, right? A collaboration may be key for you. So just think about that. All right. Cool. We're ahead of schedule here, pal. So let's talk about the growgsg.com. GSG is our sponsor, and let's share. Hold on,
Marshall, the other thing on collaborations too. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about this, and we'll go back to that a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
Image Armor.
Oh, hey. So let's talk about as soon as I can get the thing settled here.
So where we're going to go on to, this is the fall GSG print catalog, the Pulse, and you can go to GoGSG.com and get that. And this is where there's specials. And this one is Image Armor Pre-Treat. And Image Armor is not a private label. They are manufactured of all kinds of pre-treatments systems for any pre-treatment system. Brian Walker, who is a dear friend of mine for years, is the inventor and the owner of Image Armor. They have one for dark. They have one for light. They even have one for some machines for some polyesters too, which is pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just real hard, I know, because of the different polys and stuff out there. But they do have them. Brian is... you want to see a pure entrepreneur, that's Brian Walker. But Image Armor is an incredible, incredible product, no matter what pre-treatment machine you have, and a great service out there.
Yeah, Brian helped out with Shirt Lab Summit like 2 years ago. So
we need to have Brian on the show. He will be at Vegas. Image Armor has a booth there. Pardon me?
Let's go see him.
I will. Brian is, he has he'll have a black cowboy hat on. But yeah, just there's another guy that, he was in the DTG world before there was a DTG world.
Yeah.
And I remember him. He had a screen print shop in New Philadelphia, Ohio, where I lived for 20 some odd years. And, there's a little screen print faction. I was there. DCA Financing, Dave Harding, who's been on our show, is from New Philadelphia High School. I spoke at New Philadelphia High School. That's where Brian's from. Brian Segalski from who's Seagull is down at the shop in Florida, is from New Philadelphia. So we have this little New Philadelphia thing, and now Image Armor and the Viper pre-treat system is all made right in that same county. So
I saw Dave at Fort Worth.
So we need to have him back on too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we have a lot of people we need to have, because he was one of our first guests ever. But on collaboration, Image Armor is a great product, but they collaborate with like all the pre-treat systems. And he has OEM inkjet or OEM DTG inks also for like Epson stuff like that.
Great.
So
cool.
Great guy. Go see him at there. Get it through GSG. Good product.
Yeah, great.
He also owns RTP Apparel, the only pre-treated shirt too. I think SNS might need to get them. And Frank, you might want to go talk to him and see about that. Little collaboration.
I think there's another shirt out. I think Sanmar has one now.
Okay, we can always have more. So everybody, they have multiple lines, and it's okay. Yeah. So maybe a little collaboration there, Frank. Go ahead. If you need an introduction, let us know.
All right, cool. Hey, let's get to our next topic.
One other thing on collaboration too. Collaboration doesn't always have to be, right out there in the open. Marshall, you and I have collaborated on stuff, and a lot of times just helping each other out, where my name's not even mentioned, doesn't need to be on it. Yeah, we call each other all the time, and that's still collaboration.
Yeah, that's true. It's behind the scenes. It's your network. There's a quote, and I forget who said it, so apologies. Your net worth is your net worth. Yeah. Right. Your
net worth is your network.
Yeah, it's hard to say today. Yeah. So it's not your neck worth, it's your net worth.
Yep. So those behind the scene collaborations are still important, and do it. And that's part of networking. That's part of shows. Even if the companies I work for aren't you'll see me at a show that aren't there. A lot of times I'll go because there is networking opportunities that are.
Well, that's why the number one reason you go to a trade show to me is people.
People and networking. Absolutely.
The stuff in the booth is great, and we all love a new gizmo or see what's going on. But let's face it, the reason we're there is we want to be around our tribe.
I have more scheduled appointments
with our people.
I have more scheduled appointments with people than I've ever had for Printing United.
Do you?
Yeah, it's a little weird. I was looking, going good, strong ones. So I'm excited.
Great. Yeah, I'm booked up all my meals.
Yep. Absolutely.
I believe in sharing a meal with some completely different person when I'm at a trade show. Every single meal, right? That's one of the things I try to do.
I'm with you on Thursday on that Thursday night.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It'll be a good time.
And lunch and dinner.
For lunch and dinner, we got Academy luncheon. So we're not going to say, there's an announcement of 2 new Academy members. We're going to try to have them on too.
Yeah, that'll be good. All right. So let's do our next one, which is overcome adversity. And I think this was really key, especially right now. We're coming out of the COVID thing, right? There's talk about inflation's crazy. There's talk about a recession. There's talk about whatever. And one of the things that I really want people to be cognizant of is your reaction to things and your planning to things helps you overcome your adversity. Mm-hmm. So you can say, oh, woe is me. And you're like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, right? And you're just in a funk. But how you react to things and how you do things and your professional way of handling things allows you to keep climbing and look at things with a positive attitude. And it's so important. And here's a quote I read. I'm a big quote guy, right? So you're only as big as what makes you angry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very good.
Okay. And so it's like one of these things. Well, don't sweat the small stuff, right?
Yep.
So how are you reacting to things? How are you planning? We know what's ahead, right? Inflation's not going away anytime soon, right?
And you know what? And it's an inflation. If that's your jam, where that is the thing that's crushing you right now, Marshall, this is where being the OGs help. I remember my parents buying a house at 14% interest in 1978. You know what? Our inflation is nothing. I refinanced from 7% down to 5% on my first house, and I thought I was in heaven. Back then. So we're still pretty good.
Yeah. So just think about, this is in anything you do with your business or your life, whatever, right? And it's like one of these things where I think a lot of people, and I talked to a lot of shop owners, and I can't spill the beans on everything, but there's a lot of people who are struggling with some stuff. And a lot of it is just self-inflicted wounds where they just shoot themselves in the foot, and they have to change. The only way that you're going to have a different result is doing things differently, because what you've been doing is what brought you to wherever you are, right?
Right.
And to overcome that, you have to change. You have to think about things. And a lot of labor right now is one of the number one things that people are struggling with, and they can't find press operators, and they can't find embroidery people, and they can't find salespeople, right? Yep. Okay, well, did you give up, right? And I talked to somebody a couple of days ago where they were complaining about how they couldn't find people. But I go, well, tell me about the ad you have out. Oh, I don't have one. It's okay, well, how are you going to solve this, right? You're complaining about it, but you're not doing anything to try and solve it. And we have to overcome this by putting in the work and doing it, right? That's the only way you're going to do it, is just head down, let's bang it out, and let's try to resolve it. And so you work with a lot of people that've got challenges, right? So what are some tips that you have for trying to resolve these challenges and get better?
In the Midwest, we have no challenges. It is the garden spot of everything. You know what? The challenges are sometimes, Marshall, I think you're right. Most challenges nowadays are self-inflicted. If your challenges are, I don't have business, I'm almost to the point in going, that's on you. You've not listened to anybody ever. I hate to be that way, but man, you got it. I am that way. Get off my lawn. I'm shaking my fist, because there's business out there. You got to go get it. In sales, you always have to go get it. How are you getting it? How are you marketing? What are you doing? What connections are you making? And what are you doing differently? If you're doing things the same way you did 20 years ago, fail.
Yeah.
You got to get out there. But everybody we try to say personal, business, keep it separate. Stuff spills over though. And your adversities, everybody has life issues, everybody has illnesses, deaths. Life is hard, life is messy for everybody. If you think it's not, you lie. They're lying to you. Everybody's life is hard, everybody's life is messy. It's how you overcome it, how you control it. And I think there's a couple things for customers. When it's the ones I'm close with, I know that, then I become just a sounding board for them.
Yeah.
I might not have the answer, but I've known them long enough. They trust me because people still buy from people who they trust and like. Mm-hmm. If they trust me and they're sharing that with me, I'm going to be there and back them on that. You always got to have somebody you can go to. Marshall and I talk all the time, probably know more about each other these last couple of years than we ever thought we would on there. We all have these. And sometimes, you got to have somebody to go, all right, I understand where you're going, but let's not be rash on something like that.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You got to have somebody, you're bringing Allie on. You got to have somebody that's not in your world that can look at it with new eyes.
Yeah. Right. And
yeah.
Totally. And I think you're exactly right there, Alan. And And how are you trying to get 1% better every day?
Absolutely.
Right? You don't have to bite off huge chunks.
Yep.
Right. So if you're struggling with something right now and it's like, let's say you can't find people. Okay.
Yep.
I understand that you need more people or you need better people. Maybe the people you have just aren't the right people, right?
Everybody.
What are you doing about it? And the first thing could just be putting an ad out on Indeed or Facebook or your webpage, or maybe talking with a local community college or whatever, right? Are you doing the work that's going to solve your problem or not? The first step could just be posting the ad. Yep. Right. So if you don't post the ad, you're never going to get the results. Right. So break it down into some chunks. Right. And if you have an ad and nobody's responding, is it the headline for the ad? Is it the pay you're offering? What is it about it that is going to attract people? Right. And there's a lot of things that could be worked in there that could change your results, right? But if you don't know what they are, if you're not A/B testing, if you're not doing stuff, you'll just never know this stuff.
What about, Marshall, too, is people are needing things, those solutions might already be there in their own shop of training another person.
Oh, yeah. So to me, that's the whole thing, bench strength, right? Mm-hmm. So to put this in football terms, there was one before he was a volleyball gym investor in Louisiana. Brett Favre was the quarterback for the Packers, right?
I love it.
He was all world everything, and you couldn't imagine the Packers without Brett Favre, right? Yep. And then he decided to retire. And then who's this Aaron Rodgers guy?
Oh, he was. Yeah, they were all over him.
Yeah, who's this Aaron Rodgers dude? Like, he's weird. And so, because he wasn't Brett Favre, right? Yep. And so it's like, just one of these things where the next person up, right, could be the rock star that you've been missing, yep. Right? But if you don't give anybody the opportunity, right, then you'll never know, right? So yep. Aaron Rodgers couldn't be, the guy, right? Like, we'll put it this way. Tom Brady took over for whatever his name was, right?
The Patriots.
Drew Bledsoe, right?
Yeah.
And so but before Drew got hurt, right? Tom was just the backup dude, third round draft pick, yep. Right? And now he's arguably the greatest of all time quarterbacks, right? Yep, so those are just football analogies. I'm a guy. That's what I do, right? But
and it's football season. And you know what? Those people might have skill sets you might not be aware of or have not noticed or taken advantage of. And they might be there going, hey, what about me? Are you noticing this? Come on.
So, you have to give people the opportunity, right? You won't know. You won't know. And maybe they're not as good as the guy that you start, but they have to be. They can grow into it, right? That's all I'm saying is you have to give people, and I like to use the term drive the car, right? You got to give people time driving the car to know how they're going to do, right? And then you can make them better with whatever happens, right?
Right. And it still comes out to communication.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Jesse's here. Right, hold on. We got some comments. So Frank says, speaking of collaboration, you can even collaborate indirectly with your competitors.
Absolutely.
Competition makes everyone better. By the way, still one of our favorite episodes was when we had the equipment panel on the show a couple of months ago. So,
and you know what? We need to have more panels like that. We've talked about that.
Let's do an ink one. And I'm saying that because guess who's here is my pal Jesse.
Yeah.
We'll do an ink one soon. That would be fun.
The man, the myth, the legend, the Marine who served our country. We're always thankful for that. But yeah, we could do an ink one.
Hey, Jesse, you going to be in Vegas? Is Matsui having a booth in Vegas? I hope so.
Or are you just hanging out with us? And
yeah. All right. Daryl's here. Make yourself self-attraction. There's great people out there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great job, Daryl. Yeah.
Ghosta says, you control the day, or does the day control you?
Absolutely.
And Richard, the OG, says because he wasn't Bart Starr.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jesse says Kurt Warner's story is my favorite. I still haven't seen that movie. I want to watch that movie.
So, yeah.
So anyway, great points, everyone. And thank you for commenting.
Thank you for not that one. Hold on. This is amazing.
Be hanging out in the Maylab booth, right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great things to remember from great people that they do on there. So thank you so much. Those are the comments and questions we need. So
yeah, good. I love fighting over control on the comments with you.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry about that. All right, I'm taking my hands off the wheel. You got it. I'll co-pilot.
Oh yeah. So and Simon here, definition madness, doing the same thing over and over again, and expecting a different result. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the definition of insanity. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, so I know that everybody's struggling. I struggle.
I do.
I have problems.
We all do. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I know it looks like, oh my God, everything's perfect with that guy. But trust me, I've got my own set of stuff, right? And everybody does.
What do we say, Marshall, 10 seconds before this goes live? What do you say all the time? All right, we got to smile. We're happy. We're glad.
We're happy to be here.
Smile. We're happy. We're glad to be here, and we have to do that. If you've been a guest on the show, we actually do that every. All right, we smile. We're happy to be here.
That's right. Well, nobody wants to tune into a bunch of losers pissing and moaning.
And you know what? It doesn't matter because we're here. We have a job to do, and we do it. But we'll talk about it on there.
At the end of the day, it's freaking t-shirts. I mean, it's just,
absolutely. And we got stuff there going. Okay, we got to talk about finish this after the show, and we will.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what friends do. That's what collaborations do. And
right. Yeah. So anyway, so we want you to overcome adversity. And by the way, we're here for you, right? So if you need help, I would love to talk to you. I would love for you, by the way, to join Shirt Lab Tribe. If you're a supplier, I would love for you to sponsor Shirt Lab Tribe. We need cash. We do a lot of stuff that costs lots of money. We would love for you to sponsor and help us grow our community and all that stuff. So,
I love the community when I get a call or someone texts going, "Hey, Alan Howe, this is yours." And I haven't seen it, but they're on there. And that's what community does.
Yeah, right. So
Shirt Lab is a place where people can be open, they can be honest, and it's trust. You're just not getting a flipping deal off of a message board.
Well, the thing that we try to put out there is that it's a neutral space, right? Yep. So the community, is made up of apparel decorators. And everybody's equal. Everybody has a voice. It's a no sell zone. It's just we want to present the information in a neutral way, not advocating one thing over another. It's just everybody's here and we're all learning, right? And we're all growing together. That's kind of our mission. And then it's all about best practices. It's all about getting better. It's all about elevating performance and helping each other solve problems. That's what we're about. And,
what was it a couple of weeks ago? And I actually saw the shop. Someone asked about a stain remover and stuff. And I said, well, here would be your quick solution. And I said, well, let's talk about what's causing it first. Let's get rid of the cause. Yeah. And that takes more. That's not about a product. That's about let's go to the process.
What's upstream.
Yeah. And exactly. I did go to, there was Ruben in Illinois who's been to Shirt Lab. I met and for the first time. And it was great.
Yeah, it was at Shirt Lab Chicago.
Yep, just this year. And I went to his shop when I was in Chicago a few weeks ago and bam, here's I saw what the problem was and I can do, here's a Band-Aid fix. You want to buy another product? Fine. But let's just get rid of the solution, the cause. And here, let's buy less product. I'll work till I'm 90, but you'll be a better shop. So
quit using screen opener.
It wasn't that. But it's still, it could be a lot of it. So, oh God.
Hey, Hurley says he struggles every second day. So is that every other day you have is it you struggle every second of every day or you struggle every other day.
Yeah.
Just poking fun here. All right, let's get our last topic going. And there's something going on next week. What the hell is it?
Printing United, man. Vegas.
So we want to say our show for next week will not be on Friday.
Nope.
And it will not be at this time slot. Okay. So we're trying to do it. They have a podcast zone there, and we couldn't get our time one for Friday. Both Alan and I are traveling. I'm flying to Florida for my 40th high school reunion.
I don't know. I will not be frown when I put LED lights up on the plane. How about you?
And so Friday I'm traveling, so we can't do it Friday. Our show is going to be on Thursday, and it's our slot that we have at the podcast zone. If you're there, come watch us. Be part of the show.
Come hang out. Yeah.
Is Thursday from 3 to 4 o'clock Vegas time, and that makes it 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So wherever you are, do the math. Yep. We'll have our social media post next week. We'll talk about all this, but we want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to watch. And one of the things is we're at a huge, gigantic Las Vegas Convention Center with sketchy internet. So
we're going to try.
We're trying, and if we can't get the internet to work, we'll just see you the next week. So we might do it from hotel rooms. That's our backup plan. When we get there, we're going to go check out the internet and do all that stuff. So we'll let everybody know what's doing, and we'll kind of figure things out. But we're going to be there Thursday in the podcast zone area, wherever that is, from 3 to 4 o'clock Vegas time.
Yep.
Which is we'll be broadcasting from 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time next Thursday, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And we're going to be reporting what is the cool stuff that we see, what's going on. So if you're watching this and you're going to be in Vegas, we'd love to have you come just pop in and say hi, whatever. Just like
Mr. Green.
It's the Carol Burnett live comedy hour for us. Just whatever happens, and we're not worried about it. But
Simon, are you going to be in Vegas? Mr. Clifford, do you have a booth there? I'm wondering. Simon would be fun to have on. You may need to come by the podcast booth.
Yeah. So the more the merrier. But anyway, so I'm really looking forward to Printing United. I will be flying in on Tuesday morning, and then I'm going to go kind of like get registered and kind of hopefully I can sneak in and check out the podcast area. I'll be doing the Shirt Lab Q&A call Tuesday afternoon. There's been some talk about having dinner with the Graphics Source guys Tuesday night, by the way, Alan. I'm sure you want to hop in on that.
You guys would have me. Those guys are hilarious.
Yeah, Wednesday is the kind of lots just walk the show, see everybody, and then Wednesday night is the party at Stoked on Printing. So I'll plan on being there, having dinner with one of my clients Wednesday night. And then Thursday, we have Academy stuff. The 4 o'clock is the Women in Screenprinting Awards. So we want to go check out everybody getting that. And I think that's going to be great fun. And then our podcast thing is from 3 to 4. So we'll be slightly late to that award ceremony. And then we're having a dinner with Charlie and Scott Fresner and a bunch of people Thursday night.
Marcel Donick and I were talking. He might join us, so which will be fun.
Great. Yeah, that'd be fun.
And there'll be some Academy guys there, and always good to see them and hang out. And I love just listening to people that have been down the road longer than me, and how much I still learn from them every time I'm with them.
Yeah, right. And
incredible.
If you're at the show, I definitely want to meet you. If I haven't met you before,
Absolutely.
If I do know you, I want to hang out. I want to know all about your shop. I want to hear everything, what you're interested in. I'm really, really interested in the DTF printers that might be there. That's one of the things I want to be checking out. what's going on with that. I just see that as just a huge wave. It reminds me so much of when DTG came out like forever ago. And I just think everybody's like, there's a lot of, buzz about it. Right. So I want to check that out and see what's going on.
I have, what I'm excited about, there's some new laser to screen out. Kiwo has, Lucier has some, but Kiwo has some also on their brand, which are not made by Lucier, which I'm very, very excited.
So giving Saudi a run for their money.
Well, and I think it's always good when there's, again, other things. Saudi has had, they were the first front runners on this, and we'll give them collaborations of that. Or kudos on that one. But they've been in that pond by themselves a lot for a while. It's time to get some competition. It's all still going to come all about service. How quickly can they ramp these up? Lee Brand will do a great job with them. I think when it comes to new equipment like this, you have to remember the same thing with DTF. You're still early adopters. Remember that with lasers as well. I mean, they're kind of all the rage now. Great technology.
Yeah.
But remember, there's still some early adoption. It comes about service, and remember that.
I'll tell you, if you get a laser system, one of the things you might look at also is getting a automatic washout booth. And here's the reason why. When you use toner, whether it's wax or the print, right, you can see where the image is. Okay. Yep. When it's laser, it's just a wall of emulsion and you don't know what it is. So if you use the pre-wash system, like M&R's got a great one, right? It's a robot doing it, right? It isn't a person. And that really helps you wash out your screen because it isn't a person doing it, and you're not going to miss that detail little thing in the corner because they just didn't wash that area, right? And so I think that should be on your list. If you're looking at a laser, I would be looking at that because I know some people have been struggling with not washing out all of the details when they use a laser imaging system.
Yeah, it's a pre-wash it's a developing system. Auto developer M&R has.
Yeah, you can do 2 screens at one time. Boom, done.
Absolutely. And it's not that it's some people are going to say, well, I don't like lasers because of that. It's not a failure of them. It's just how they work. Yeah. And what you're used to, it's about how are you going to overcome that, because it's about process. And it'll be great. So I'm really excited about it. It'll be. I actually think I heard Fort Worth. I am sorry I was not down there. I hate missing it. I heard it was a good show, especially Friday and Saturday. I heard Sunday was a little typical trade show, but I'm expecting. I am mildly optimistic and excited about Printing United. We need good trade shows coming back. So
So a couple comments here. Jesse says, "See you guys there."
Looking forward to it.
Hurley says, "Have a great weekend, guys. Thanks for watching." Chris, Hurley, can you please send Jesse's info? By the way, Jesse, if he didn't see that because he left, email me and I'll send it to you. Peter says, pre-pandemic, there was some question about ongoing relevance of trade shows. The shows that have been conducted in 2022 post-pandemic have generally been very well attended with a lot of interest. I've been to, 5 or 6 now. So I can tell you that from the shows I've been, everybody's there, right? And people that are going are buying things and they're looking to solve problems. And I think the thing that you have, if you're running a trade show, you have to make it relevant. Why are people coming? And to me, it's the mixture of, I want to see my people, I want to learn some stuff, and I want to check out the new gizmos or new suppliers. And those are the top 3 things, right? And education is a key part of that. And so I think if you're a trade show organizer, education, I'm an educator, so I believe in that. So I think that's a key thing. By the way, I was at the Fort Worth show, and Peter, I was talking with the show, one of the show salesmen about booths, and they have M&R back in the center spot for Long Beach, like you guys have always been there. And I heard a rumor that that was going to be Rock, and I was interested to see that they're promoting that that's where M&R is going to be, and Rock is going to be in the where that round atrium is. I would love to verify that if that is true. So if you could like drop a comment there, that would be interesting for me. So Peter also says, do you think this has only occurred because of the pent-up demand for people to get out and mingle, or do you feel the show scene will be sustainable?
I think that's two questions. And, Marshall, you and I have talked about this a lot. We have actually talked with multiple show people, too, on it.
Yeah.
And I think there's yes on both. My opinion, I think it's yes on both. I think part of it is pent-up demand. I think there has to be excitement. And this is a three-legged stool on any of them. You've got to have networking, good, not just with individual peers and stuff, but with the vendors. And, we're in the textiles side right now. And I hate to say it, that if the big three aren't there, if Rock's not there, M&R's not there, MHM's not there, nobody's going to see Easy Way. And they may not be there or in a smaller thing. And they have somehow, this has got to be where those guys are there. They're bringing, everybody wants to see new things that spin and flash and all that. And you've got to have that. If you don't have good education, I am like you. I am still good education, not pay to play. I hate pay to play. That's sales education. When I speak, I usually, unless it's a pay to play, which I've never done on my own, I've been paid and free agent out. Mm-hmm. And I am very vanilla on it. I tell people, here's who I work for. Your questions I will answer generically because it's not about a product on there. And I believe that, I feel that's how it is. One, I was trained that way. And two, that's how it needs to be. You're not here. You want to hear a sales pitch? My opinion, I got them. Catch me on the floor. I'll give you a sales pitch and opinion on a screen wash, on an LTS, on a printer, on the kind of shirt you're wearing, whatever. I have opinions on everything. Some of them go.
Trust me, Alan has opinions on everything.
I have opinions on this. Usually, I have to keep them shut. That's why I have guys like Marshall around me going, "Okay, Alan, no, we're going to leave you alone on that one. You can't be talking on that." But yeah, you want opinions, you got it. The classroom is not where it is, and education is still important. Whether it's stage, I love what some of them are doing with the stages. Some of them are pay to play. And it's starting to show, Marshall, we've seen that on some of them, starting to show a little favoritism. Whoever wants to shell out the dollars looks like, an overrun. And I don't think that's good for shows, my opinion.
Yeah, I think it needs to be neutral.
Yeah.
And we're presenting the information. And I think people coming to shows, they're looking for equipment, but you know what? They're also looking for the next thing. This is why DTF is so popular right now. Is that the next thing or not? Right. And then they're also looking for apparel blank suppliers or the tote bag company. They're also looking for different inks. Right. And they're also looking for different suppliers. They're looking for financing. They're looking for whatever it is. They've got a problem they're trying to solve. And to me, you have to be present to win, whether you're at a booth or you're just walking the show. I think you need to be there. Now, some of the events are, like it doesn't make financial sense to go, which is why I actually don't go to everything. It just isn't financially sound for me to attend at all. I go to the things where, frankly, if I can get paid to go or it's at least cost neutral, then that's why I'm there. Right. So
I agree. And it's got to be the ROI, just like you're saying, because you're looking at it from a business side. Would you love to go to everything? Absolutely. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
yeah.
With
Well,
everything?
it's expensive.
No.
It's
When you
expensive.
look at, I'm glad I don't have the bill that it costs M&R or GSG or some of those rock or some of them that have these islands, because aside from just the show, you got to think of the people and the housing and the food and the technicians and everything.
Yep.
It is an astronomical amount, and where will they get the ROI? And so you want to know why some manufacturers, including companies I work for, we can't do all of them. We would like to, we should. If it's not viable, that money can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that goes to our trade show sustainable. That's up to them. They can't do things like they did 20 years ago.
Well, and then look at Impressions is only going to have 2 shows next year, Long Beach and Atlantic City. GPX is going to do 6. Dax is still doing.
So they are not having Fort Worth next year. Impressions.
No, it's Long Beach and Atlantic City. That's it.
I'll take Long Beach all day long.
And go to their website. I may be wrong, but I believe I'm right. So there's next year, Printing United is in Atlanta.
Yeah.
This is going to be very interesting. And I don't know there's lots of industry events, Shirt Lab, there's Print Hustlers. There's going to be a Printing United Summit that's going to be in Kentucky or Tennessee or somewhere over there. They just announced they're doing ThreadX in Colorado.
No, Utah.
And so it's just like there's a lot going on next year, and it's very interesting just to see how it all shakes out. So
yeah, it'll be interesting. So and the best thing you can do, go to the shows, get to show people, tell them what you feel. How come so-and-so's not here? I don't know. That's not a viable answer. Why? I don't know. How come? How come M&R is not here? How come Rock's not there? How come AMHM's not there? I don't know is not an answer.
Yeah, right.
Then you need to go, then why am I here?
Right.
Now, Printing United, I have a lot I could be very negative on. Here's the positive thing. We had Josh Caruth on last week, 2 weeks ago. And it was great. They have more apparel vendors and fabric vendors.
22.
22 than I've ever seen at a Printing United SGI event. So that's because of Josh Caruth and his team. Yeah. So that's a positive for the textile market.
I think it's going to be it's what you make of it. I think it's going to be a positive experience, and I'm looking forward to it. So we're a little over, so let's get to some comments, and then let's sign off here. So Richard says that the 2018 China show had more than 15 laser to screen manufacturers.
That is true. The laser to screen technology, even when I first saw it here in the States 4 or 5 years ago, and it was behind the curtain, that's not new technology. It's been in Asia for a long time. Make no mistake, these things are not made in the United States. They might have United States on there, but
a lot of things aren't made in the U.S.
That's not a horrible thing. It just is. So if you think, well, that one's USA made, that one's no, it's not. These are all stuff that they're getting, and that's okay. The question still comes down to where's the service? Does it have on LTSs the right RIP softwares?
Yeah.
Check this. That's why I'm excited to see the new one. Saudi, it took them a few years to get it dialed in. They have some.
What happens if you have a head strike? Right?
What if there's a head strike? What if lasers go out? It still comes down to service on everything, and now more software on it.
Yeah.
On LTSs. So check all that out. It'll be, I think lasers are a great, it's a peek into the future. We're here. And, a good thing. I'm excited. That's the thing I'm most excited about, just because I live in that space.
Yeah, right.
So,
So Richard says he agrees with the auto rinse advice.
Yep.
Thanks. I love being proved correct. Frank says, got to run. Thanks for showing up. Sean finally made it. How's it going? Peter says, your information is correct. M&R is back in the usual home. Good to see that.
Good.
Trade shows equal collaboration.
Yes, they do.
Exactly. Thanks. And we'll see you next week, Daryl. By the way, Daryl's rooming with Richard. They're hanging out.
All right.
Chris says, speaking of DTF, do you know if DTF or DTG would adhere to the vinyl pleather? The answer is depends on the adhesive. You should test it, right? And so DTF, there's two types of adhesives. One that's a powder, okay? One that is a printed clear.
Yep.
It depends on the DTF system. If you're using a DTG and you're just printing onto the film, you're going to use the powder. There are different types of powders that you can get. So find the adhesive that's made for that substrate and see if it can't work. I would just test it and experiment. That's what I do. So, and Jesse says, have a great weekend. Thanks, buddy. All right. So don't forget, next week, Thursday, 3 o'clock Vegas time, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And of course, if you miss it, you can always watch the replay. So, or listen to our podcast on any podcast channel that you normally get.
Or we might be doing it from our hotel rooms, or it might just go and say, hey, we tried, guys, it didn't work.
Yeah, well, we're going to give it a shot, though. So anyway,
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for watching this week, and we'll check you next time. Thanks.
Have a great one.